Dumela bazalwana. Kana I go Sontaga yanong re tsena ke mo. Let me just at the outset take this time to thank the previous speakers. What you are getting to see is just an indication of the quality of speakers that we invite and the type of people we've associated ourselves with as Mogobe Entrepreneurship Mentorship Program. And what we do is really try to bring the best and the brightest, the creme de la creme within our society insofar as different industries are concerned. And we've been very lucky over the last 6 years when I was doing this entrepreneurship programs to partner with really, really dynamic people. Again, the type of people you've heard so far. This is how I'm going to approach this subject of sexual transmutation. You'll recall from last 2 weeks ago that one of the books I prescribed was Think and Grow Rich. Which ones among you were able to read some of the books that I suggested? By show of hands? Okay, I think it's zero totally, just an egg again. That's all I'm getting. No one has read it. But I'm glad that other people have read this book before. A lot of millionaires and multimillionaires, when asked which book has had the greatest impact in their lives, will give the answer, Think and Grow Rich. The late Bob Proctor says that he reads the book non-stop, and is a kind of book which has impacted him the most in terms of making him the super success that he was. And indeed, I would argue that myself as well, to a very great extent, this is a book that when I read, it really had that impact in my life. But one of the areas that I wanted to start with is on sex, is to talk about sex, because sex is a very fascinating subject. And some of you are wondering, what does sex have to do with entrepreneurship? Let me start with a joke. I don't know whether this joke is going to land or not, so I'm going to ask you to laugh regardless, so that you can save me the embarrassment. Borra le bomma, let's be honest. Sexual energy is the only energy that never runs out of battery. The real question is, are you charging your business with it or just your phone? Is that funny? Nobody's laughing. But laugh anyway. The whole idea is that you are able to take the sexual energy that you all naturally have, and you are able to repackage it and to repurpose it for business. That's what it means. You actually transmute that energy that you all naturally have instead of letting it go. Instead of, for instance, if you are attracted to a particular young lady or a particular young man, and then you just let it go and make a move and you end up having an affair with that person and then another affair, that energy that is recharging you to go in front of that person, your achievements, you can repackage that. Because it's a dance. You have to dance in front of that person to impress them. And you have to put your best foot forward, sexually speaking. And you try to impress that person. And that's just an example of what it takes. You take that energy that we all have and repackage it for other purposes. Again. So let me give 2 practical examples. We're always talking about tech innovation in the space of agriculture. Again, I know of a young Motswana in tech who I mentored in the past. He was restless and he had these ideas what to do and he didn't know how to. So this young man, instead of chasing distractions, when this idea, I don't know, are go chila, go na le party ko go gateware, go hona le monate, go bokete-kete, just so that you can chase after the opposite sex and have fun, you know? Instead of chasing after these distractions, he stayed up night and day coding an app for cattle tracking. Today, farmers use this system to protect their livestock from theft. He literally turned raw energy into a solution that serves Botswana in the farming economy. You see, that's an example where sexual energy was repackaged, or whatever energy, testosterone was repackaged for positive purposes. Another example would be a woman passionate about cooking who decided to channel her intensity into business. Instead of spending that drive on short-term thrills, she poured it into recipes, branding, and service. And within 5 years, she expanded from home catering to supply major hotels and events. And another example is one of my proudest men, one of them anyway. Thank you for coming. When we met in 2019, 2020, you'll tell your story, but let me just say a little bit. Her initial concern was about pimples that were troubling her. And then she said she used something that she learned from her grandmother about how to repackage morula and other original cheese, and then out came Organic Naturals. We're able to work with her, Angel Network, Botswana, Nalebo Mai 3, and others. And we are proud to say she's here. She's agreed to come. She'll share her story. You are currently in how many stores now?
60 stores across the country.
Listen to that. You know? And she started from exactly where you are, and she was patient enough to be teachable, to learn using traditional, methods. She used some of what we had to share with her. And traditional knowledge, yes, indigenous knowledge. She was able to now use modern knowledge in terms of marketing and the few things that we shared in programs like this. So these examples show how sexual transmutation is not just theory. It's about discipline, redirection, and creativity. Although I wouldn't say in the case Yahago didn't, it was necessarily sexual energy, but I'm sure there was an element of that, because I'm sure your friends wanted to go and party more often than you were interested in. That's exactly what the Mogobe Entrepreneurship Mentorship Program is about, helping entrepreneurs take their strongest energies, passions, and desires and transmute them into enterprises, into leadership, into legacies. I get it. You've been able to transmute, haven't you? Yes, I don't know. You may not call it sexual energy, but there was certainly what we described, me and you, as imposter syndrome, that fear of coming out. When you have your ideas, you just need somebody to say, you can do it, you are capable. Look how she's doing. She'll also give you 5 minutes or so to share your story. Now, just as energy can be wasted or redirected, mentorship helps channel it in the right direction. So, I want to share with you just 10 quick points. How many? 10 quick nuggets on this subject. First of all, especially in our context as Botswana, first, let's acknowledge the desire. Let's acknowledge, or yes, there is that pressure in our communities. You know, some of them will say to you as a young man, or hey, the temptations are there, and those distractions are there, and the landscape is littered with carcasses of entrepreneurs who would have been very, very successful had it not been for the fact that they succumbed to this sexual energy and they ended up having relationships. Some of them ended up manyalo tubecha, basimula from scratch. Some of them even gave up. I mean, I know because I've done, in the course of my career as a law firm, we've done over 1,000 divorces, and we're still doing plenty of them upstairs, go first floor, sadly. divorce rate in Botswana has reached epidemic proportions, and most of them just start with that a little distraction, a little, let's give it a try. Nobody will find out. Let's do it. So what Napoleon Hill and what I've come to believe is that you recognize this sexual desire as a powerful natural force and have no shame. Be aware. But now be aware that you can repackage it. You can channel it into your business with the right guidelines, with the right belief. You don't have to succumb. You don't have to give into the pressure. You can redirect. That's number one. Number two, redirect the energy. Instead of chasing immediate gratification, in this case, sexual gratification, redirect the same fire into long-term goals. It is doable. We are taught how to do it. We encourage each other to do it. You may even have an accountability partner. You may have an accountability partner in this mentorship program who says to you, you're about to lose it here. Huh? Stick to Mahos Mamang. Stick to Smamang. Because we need to. So many relationships have caused havoc, and so many multi-millionaires have become paupers. Now I can give names, but I can give names of friends of mine who've really suffered gravely because they could not transmute their sexual energy as such. Point number 3, engage in creative or productive activities. Coming here is a big start. This is as productive as it gets, in terms of preoccupying your mind and focusing on things that can make a difference to your bottom line. Put the energy into business, into innovation, into farming, into tech, into arts. Open yourselves to continuous learning. Open yourselves to being encouraged and being energized by mentors, for instance. I'll be really privileged, welcome, to be your mentor. It would give me a distinct pleasure to be able to call you like I've called one. That's my mentor, mentee. I'm very proud of her. 2, that's my mentee. I'm very proud of her. 3, that's my mentee. Listen to a part of the story. My mentee. You call yourself my mentee as well? Okay. So it's good to have powerful mentees like this who have impacted the community, who have learned how to transmute their sexual energy. I assume you've learned sexual transmutation. Have you guys mastered the art? Yes. So you're just focused on your significant other and nowhere else. That's what it means, bottom line. Okay? Number 4, cultivate willpower and self-discipline. Entrepreneurship is about resisting short-term pleasures. Any of you guys, if you've made an appointment with that small house, grab that phone and cancel that appointment now. You don't need that small house. That small house is a massive distraction. It's a threat to your wealth. It's a threat to your well-being. It is a devastating threat, especially if you yield to it. Cancel an appointment. You don't need to. I know what some of them are saying. Okay, no, it's already plastic on both sides. It's already plastic. Very small house. That should stop, guys. It may seem like we're joking right now, but it's a serious epidemic and has affected our wealth. So that's what transmutation means. Get rid of those short-term pleasures. Focus on long-term, sustainable gains. Okay? 5, focus on higher pursuits. Okay? Think beyond pleasure to legacy and impact. Think about your legacy and impact. Okay? Look at Choppies. Right? I know Ram personally. I'm not saying all his partners are like that, but that's as far as I'm going to go. Hasimutu hadionyan. Look how he grew an empire from one store to so many. All right? Number 6, sexual energy equals creative power. When you seem to be obsessed about a particular person, and then if you are obsessed about that person, just substitute that obsession every time. If they come to your mind, you can just literally substitute in your mind. Kana kidu it's a hippocampus, the frontal cortex. Again, it's just the games taking place in the amygdala, especially. That's part of the brain which you can use to change your thought processes. But hippocampus? Yeah. But the one now, no man, this is enough. Let me resist this. Yeah, hypothalamus. Oh, yeah, he knows far more. He studied these things at the highest level. And my next speaker, one of my speakers is coming. He's going to talk more on these things. So Napoleon Hill ties this to genius level ideas. Good Napoleon believes that so potent is this sexual energy, this desire, that it's actually genius level ideas, So you can actually solve your problems and improve your business with a lot of fire, with a lot of innovation, with a lot of enthusiasm. Point number 7, it's a case of competition between energy and distraction. Without discipline, guys, the same energy can destroy reputations. I like the system of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, when he's about to do something or when he's approached to do something, he asks himself a simple question. If this thing I'm about to succumb to, or I'm about to execute or to do, as a result of what I'm being enticed to do, if this thing were to appear in the front page of the Voice newspaper, in this case, New York Times, in the front page, would I be embarrassed? If the answer is yes, that's a sign. That's a sign right there. Or no, whatever it is, engagement I'm about to start. If it's going to embarrass my parents, if it's going to embarrass my spouse and myself, let me not do it. Brown envelope, my friend, this is just take an envelope. You don't have to, no, you don't have to do anything, my friend. Take. How are 10,000, 50,000, whatever it is, me in a brown envelope, only in charge of a tender or in the context of some business deal. How many brown envelopes have compromised people's integrity? Right now we have an epidemic of corruption. I get it. In fact, PAC has disclosed and has revealed we're having corruption on an epic scale, with instances like the tender at 800 million turning into 3.4 billion with a B, and still more claims being submitted on that same tender. SIMSU. Can you imagine? So these things are ongoing. And what am I saying? My point is that these people have even lost their sense of embarrassment. The test is, would I be embarrassed if this came out? If I can potentially be embarrassed, let me not do it. So, in Botswana's close-knit society, credibility is everything. In business, there are people who I can collect goods worth 250,000 through a text now in this community. If I go to Builders World, if I go to Steel Junction, if I send this man, all it takes is a text to Muemudin. I get, yeah, up to 500,000. He'll give them the goods just based on my word. And that is a reputation that you build over many, many years if you are not distracted. Okay, number 8, relationships are catalysts, right? A supportive partner, rather support your partner or community, can sharpen your energy, right? No, Rumeladi flower, huh? Learn to send flowers. Bana ba Batswana. Start opening those doors. Learn khaise. Now I don't open doors for Mama Mogobe. So it's but I do occasionally send flowers. All I'm saying is that let's focus on supporting our close-knit families and our families, and that also helps us to transmute even better. Okay? Leadership charisma is another point. Great leaders radiate magnetic energy. They've mastered this redirection. Okay? I'd like to think that I fall into that category. So you are able, with that charisma, to redirect your energy. 10, last but not least, building legacy enterprises. Through this process of redirection and transmutation, we can build and redirect our businesses and our enterprises, and build businesses that last generations. Okay? So here's a tip as I close off. I want to ask you, what is the one specific area where you could redirect your energy into business this week?
Where I can transmute with?
Your energy this week into your business as a result of this presentation.
That I should actually focus on business than focusing on other things. As per se, I'm one person that used to assume that for me going out every weekend, I get a chance to actually meet people, and I thought that was me networking. So with this, I do notice that I've been doing things the wrong way.
Yeah, because half the time, the music is at full blast, and all people are doing is just consuming copious amounts of alcohol. Of course, as a restaurant owner, it benefits me somehow, but that's not the point. The point is that you guys should be highly evolved beings who realize that, okay, if I've gone out once in a month, that's just about it. I don't have to do it every Friday. Not only are you protecting your cash flow in terms of your savings, but you're also avoiding these endless distractions. Okay? Some guys were telling me from outside, hey, basadi baba Tswana matata wana gore baba. The problem is the women are so beautiful, Mr. Mogobe. What you need is the discipline. We are very blessed with having very beautiful women, but it doesn't mean just because she's beautiful, you have to be with her. I get it. So let me end by reminding you that here in Mogobe Entrepreneurship Mentorship Program, we're here to help you master the redirection and the raw passion that you have. So I want you to say after me, Viva Sexual Transmutation, Viva! Viva Sexual Transmutation, Viva! Halala Sexual Transmutation, halala! Halala Sexual Transmutation, halala! Thank you very much.